Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast with your hosts, Reese Downing and Jacob Workman.
Yes, we stink, but why are we held to a different standard from all these other teams out there who ain't ever won nothing? We're not perfect, and we may suck this year. We may lay a freaking egg and go 6-6.
Yes, Dabo, you do suck. Preseason top 5, Clemson lost at home to Syracuse 34-21, marking the worst start in a season under Dabo Swinney. Welcome to the Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast, NCAA edition. Nothing better than a Clemson loss to kick off the episode. Hold on, we've already... Oh, never mind. Thought we had a comment, but for some reason it showed me something from you. That was interesting. Reese, what's going on? We've got a big weekend going on this weekend. This is probably the biggest weekend in college football. I couldn't even tell you in how long. It's been a long time since we've had something like this.
Yeah, we got a lot of huge games coming up this weekend. I'm also a golf fan, so we got the Ryder Cup action happening as well. Saturday is going to be a busy day of sports, but it's going to be a good one. We had a good week last week. IU just absolutely laid the wood to Illinois. That was not nearly the game that I thought it was going to be. Obviously, we talked about Clemson here. Missouri looks really good. I think Texas Tech is quickly emerging as the team to beat in the Big 12. Yeah, it was another good weekend of college football.
Yeah, I don't ever want to hear golf mentioned again on the show, but it was especially on the weekend that's coming up. But yeah, I get some people care about the Ryder Cup. I could give no fucks. So the last week we both did hit our locks. I had Oklahoma, even though they had a little bit of a situation going on, which we're going to get into in a little bit. Reese had Kansas. I hit my dog also with Arizona State, as you just mentioned, with Texas Tech maybe becoming front runner. Yeah, I mean, Texas Tech, Arizona State, Iowa State are all looking very good. There's plenty of things going on in the Big 12, and Texas Tech, the money they spent. I mean, they had a backup quarterback come in at Utah, and I didn't think they were ever going to stop scoring at the end of the game. They ran it up on them. I mean, that game was way closer than it ever looked. Just to give you guys top 25 results last week. So LSU beat Southeastern Louisiana 56-10. Miami did beat Florida 26-7. Oregon beat Oregon State 41-7 in the Civil War. Florida State beat Kent State 66-10. And Kent State's schedule, I don't know if this is just like make as much money as you can in one season, but Kent State is playing every good team on earth. I would not be pleased if I was on that team. They got another one this week. Texas beat Sam Houston 55-0. Oklahoma beat Auburn 24-17. Ole Miss beat Tulane 45-10. Tennessee beat UAB 56-24. Like you just talked about, Texas Tech beat Utah 34-10. That game was way closer than 34-10. If you watch that game, it was not a 24-point victory by any means. Georgia Tech beat Temple 45-24. IU 63-10 over Illinois. Vandy with Pavia 70-21 over Georgia State. Michigan beat Nebraska 30-27. Missouri beat South Carolina 29-20. Notre Dame beat Purdue 56-30. And USC beat Michigan State 45-31. Just for a few of the highlights there. Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, IU beating Illinois 63-10 and Texas Tech beating Utah 34-10. Some of the bigger surprising results from the weekend. Reese, did you have anything else on the top 25 there?
No, I mean, just the some of the surprises that we talked about. Texas Tech, I mean, that game wasn't as close as what the score indicates, but they also lost Morton there for a while, right? So
yeah, he was out for the game.
Yeah, so like I was surprised because when that happened, I thought, okay, here's the chance for Utah to turn it up a little bit and get going, and it never happened. So I think this is not going to be the last week where we're going to see a coach firing as well. I think we might have a couple more coming up here in the next week or two, but I know we're going to hop into our Cowboy here in just a second. So like I said, good week of college football as always.
Yeah, so Friday night watching the game, the Oklahoma State game, it was one of the few games on, so I had it on. I had seen enough. I tweeted it out. As you can see, at 8:39 p.m. on September 19th, which was Friday night, I'm a man. I'm fired. It was obvious to me watching that game. And yeah, yesterday it happened. They fired him. He was the second longest tenured coach in the FBS with 21 seasons. He's kind of been a victim of modern college football. The NIL and the portal was something he never really adjusted to. For one benefit of him, he is owed a $15 million buyout, so it's not like he's going to be struggling by any means. He's one of the more I guess you'd say entertaining press conferences in college football on a weekly basis. The offensive coordinator, Doug Meacham, is going to be the new interim head coach. And one little note that I added in here is I'm really hopeful that Texas A&M offensive coordinator Colin Klein does end up getting the head coaching job there, because a certain senior analyst at Texas A&M, Joey Lynch, is someone that we support pretty heavily on this show. I know we make fun of Texas A&M a lot, but we do support him as a coach, and I think he would probably be in pretty good spot to maybe the new OC at Texas A&M, which would be awesome. Yeah, and would be his second SEC offensive coordinator spot, because he was the OC at Vandy before moving to A&M. Any thoughts on Gundy or any of that?
Yeah, I mean, crazy to see how far the program slid as quickly as it did. You know, it was December of 2021 when they were a touchdown away from a Big 12 title and heading to the college football playoff. Yep. They ended up losing to Baylor, right? Beat Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl. They went 7-6 that following year. Then they went 10-4, and then they came in with a lot of buzz last year, and they just completely fell apart. They started the season 3-0, and then they lost 9 straight, all in the Big 12. So we were talking about him being on the hot seat at the end of last season. 11 consecutive losses against FBS components. That's the longest active streak under Power 4 programs. They brought in 60 new players this year to try to turn it around, and it just didn't work. I mean, to your point, $15 million buyout. It's not like he's hurting by any means. I do think we do need to give a nod to Gundy for what he did for that program, though, because they had 4 winning seasons in the previous 16 years, and then Gundy showed up, and they had 18 straight winning seasons. I mean, he did a lot for the Oklahoma State program, as much shit as we give him. Yeah. You mentioned Colin Klein as one of the guys. I've got a couple of names here that I've read. Jeff Traylor, UTSA coach. Oregon OC Will Stein, his name's going to get thrown around basically any of these Power 4 head coaching positions. One of the other names I thought was interesting, Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinator Zach Robinson, because he was a Cowboy quarterback. Mm-hmm. And then another one, just to throw it out there, what about Stillwater Shrek? What's Ogeron doing?
I'm not sure if that's his type of climate.
I don't know, but I love the alliteration.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Arbuckle would be another one that I've seen his name pop up. Eric Morris, the head coach at North Texas, and then Toledo's head coach, Jason Candle is another name that I read a little bit. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I don't think they make a move obviously until the end of the season, but yeah, I mean,
yeah, and I just think that the school's got to adapt too, because I know oh hell, what was his name? They had a very famous like booster. Boone Pickens, maybe something like that. And he died around like 19 or 20. And I think that a lot of people were saying that like that was one of the situations where they didn't quite move into the NIL era as well as people thought they would, because he was like their booster. Like he was their big booster that gave them all the money.
Boone Pickens. Yeah.
That's him. And when he died, I think is when people were like, oh shit. And NIL came in, and he like schools like that don't really have a ton of huge boosters. So when someone like that goes, I mean, that's a big deal. So
yeah, I mean, the stadium's named after him, right? So
yeah. So I mean, it's an interesting situation going on there, but I agree with you. We do have to still. I mean, he's probably like even statue worthy on campus. Like, I mean, that's probably a coach. I mean, I'm sure. Record-wise, that'll probably never be broken. I'm sure no one will ever have more wins in Oklahoma State than he did. So
yeah, I doubt it. 18 straight winning seasons. That's good for 9th longest in NCAA history for a coach at one school. Yeah. So I mean, you got to give the guy his props.
I'm surprised that's more than Bowden. That's interesting. So the other big news of the week. Well, one other thing I want to throw into that, since we were just talking about NIL, because I didn't really have this plan, so I'm not sure on the specifics, honestly, but I did just read quite a bit about Virginia Tech is committing more to NIL, and somehow they're supposed to be getting like some crazy amount of money. I want to say it's like I don't even remember. It was like 80 million or something. Like there was some crazy ass number thrown out that they're going to be dedicating to the football program to try to boost their NIL and to actually make them be a relevant program again in the ACC.
So it's been proposed 229 million
I was a little off.
to his athletic budget over the next 4 years.
So that's like 60 million a year, though. I mean, that's
and it says to its athletic budgets, but let's be serious.
Oh, it's football. Yeah,
it's football,
I mean, it's
right.
Yeah, and I know that they have brought in Bruce Arians to kind of help them boost. He did say yesterday on Pat McAfee's show that their first line of duty is to bring in a GM for the school. And then once they get a GM, then they're going to start working on coach. But with that kind of money, I mean, it's going to be tough to be relevant in the ACC, but it's also honestly not too tough because I kind of feel like the ACC could kind of be what Texas Tech's doing in the Big 12, where if they bring in enough money, they can quickly revamp that roster and be in contention because the ACC is very top heavy. I mean, hell, this year, Florida State's there and SMU's kind of there. I mean, it's Georgia Tech, but I mean, it's a conference that's easily winnable is what I'm saying with quick money.
Yeah, 100%.
So big injury news out of Norman. Quarterback John Mateer did break a bone in his right hand, which is his throwing hand. Broke it in the first quarter versus Auburn. He did end up still playing the whole game. He is scheduled to undergo surgery today. It might have already happened today in LA by one of the best hand and wrist surgeons, Dr. Steven Shin. Backup quarterback is going to be sophomore Michael Hawkins Jr., which he did start 4 games last year. Was not very good, but he was a true freshman, so they're expecting things to be a little better. We're going to pull up a few graphics here and go over these. So some of the major changes. So Mateer was the Heisman favorite. So as we look now, Fernando Mendoza at IU has become the favorite. Dante Moore and Beck right behind him. Stockton, Marcel Reed, Josh Hoover. The Heisman to me is still very wide open at this point. I mean, Mendoza lit up Illinois with some ridiculous stats that have probably never been done in IU history, to be honest. But I mean, Heisman favorite after week 4 is what it is. I don't think it's that huge of a deal. But Fernando Mendoza, the Cal transfer at IU, being the Heisman favorite now is quite the surprise. But to lose a Heisman favorite candidate week 4, and then the next, we're going to go into what exactly is happening here. So, yeah, Kent State, as I mentioned earlier, I don't know why they're playing every good school on earth, but they are. So, I mean, throw me in. I'll wear red for a game, and I'll be the quarterback in that game, and I'm pretty sure we would win. But things changed drastically after that. So they got a bye this week. Then Kent State's coming to Norman. It's the Red River Shootout. Red River Shootout, and Mateer is not expected to be back. They say that there's a small chance he is, but I would say logistically he's not back for that game. Then they're at South Carolina. Then they're playing Ole Miss, and they're at Tennessee. They're at Bama, and then Missouri and LSU. I mean, what could have been – I mean, they probably weren't going undefeated with that schedule anyway, but what should be a Big 12 or a SEC conference championship appearance, I mean, it might be out the window now. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough break for the Sooners because they have been playing well this season. They do have Michael Hawkins Jr. coming in. He got thrown in last year as a true freshman just before halftime of Oklahoma's game against Tennessee after Jackson Arnold was having a rough game. He got benched. But then he started the Auburn road game the following week. Didn't play that well, and then I'm pretty sure that he laid an egg in the Red River, and that's when they yanked him and put Jackson Arnold in. I mean, 3-star recruit. He's 35th quarterback in the 24 class out of Frisco, Texas. 783 yards, rushed for 204, so he's got a little bit under his legs. Only 4 total touchdowns in the 7 games he's played. I don't know if how long they're going to stick with him. If they do, let's say they lose. They beat Kent State and then they lose to Texas and South Carolina. They have the Mercer transfer, Neubauer, who came in and he threw for 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns at the FCS level. Obviously, does that translate to FBS? We're not sure. But then they also have their 2025 recruit, Jet Niu, something like that. So they have a couple additional guys. Like, if the SEC title is out of the equation, like, why not throw one of these guys in here and test them out just to see what happens? I don't know enough about Neubauer or Jet, their 25 recruit, to know if they bring more of a dual threat situation to the team than Hawkins does. But Hawkins didn't look all that impressive when he came in for Jackson Arnold, and then he ended up getting benched and they put Jackson Arnold back in last year. So I don't know how the Sooners move forward with this. Right now, Hawkins is the guy, seemingly, given that he knows the program, but it's a tough break for Oklahoma because they've been playing very well. I talked last week, Mateer, I thought, had moved himself pretty heavily into the Heisman conversation, and that's gone. There's no way in hell he's going to be out a month and then be still in the Heisman conversation. So it's a tough break.
And I would think by the Ole Miss game, Mateer should be back. So I guess the question is, well, hopefully back, but I guess the question is, if they lose two, say they lose Texas and South Carolina, and Mateer comes back, can they win those 5? Because they're still going at Tennessee and at Bama and LSU.
Well, you're skipping over Ole Miss too, who's playing some good football since they put Trinidad Chambliss in.
Yeah, but
Missouri's playing well. LSU does have to come to Norman.
Ole Miss is bound to shit the bed. We know it's coming. And I think it's coming this week, to be honest.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that when it happens.
It's going to happen.
Regardless, this is tough sledding. Even with Mateer in the game, this is a tough schedule to get through. So, but the SEC beats the shit out of each other. So do they get 2 losses here and then run the slate? Because if they do get out and beat Ole Miss, Tennessee, Bama, especially at Rocky Top and at Bryant Kenny, and then beat Missouri and LSU to finish the season, they might still find their way into it. But
they'll be in the playoff regardless as an at-large if that's the case.
For sure. Well, and that honestly might be a better play for them anyway, because we've seen that teams that lose in the conference title game sometimes end up getting the screw job.
Yeah, and one thing that they might be able to beat South Carolina without Mateer, honestly. Their defense might be enough. Yeah, their defense might be enough to win that. And honestly, their defense might be enough to beat Texas, because Texas is, it was Sam Houston, but
it was Sam Houston.
They have not been impressive whatsoever. So the Red River Shootout, we're going to have a lot of questions. What would be awesome is if Mateer can somehow get the hand surgery today, it's healed, and here he comes on October 11th at the Cotton Bowl, because that's what would be awesome to see. And that's what everyone would dream to see in a college football world, because we want the best versus the best, and Mateer versus Arch is what we want, even though, and like I said, Arch has been kind of a disaster.
Arch was bouncing up and down like he just won the Rose Bowl this week. And I'm like,
I calm down there. That'll be like when I go up against Kent State in a week and I show up. That'll be me and Arch will be about one and the same there.
Yeah. Was he mentioned anywhere in that Heisman list? I did see Big Tommy C pulling up the back end there.
You can probably guess that Arch is not on the Heisman list.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, hold on. If we can hold on and get this down so we can actually see it.
So that's what we're doing. The other guy I was thinking about is where's
Jaden Mayava.
Marcel Reed, man, he's looking good. Might be a sneaky pick, but anyway, not to derail things here. Oklahoma is going to have to run the slate on those last 5 games. If they do lose to both Texas and South Carolina, I think if they're going to make the playoff.
Yeah, it's what a shitty situation. As a fan of a team that was, we ended up going undefeated and lost our quarterback, and that was enough, even though the whole defense is now dominating the NFL. But again, it's the college football invitational for us. So
yeah, we don't want to get you into PTSD right now.
Yeah. All right. So one of the things that's kind of taken over the internet in the last couple of weeks is AI stadiums. And we've seen NFL, we've seen European soccer, we've seen college football. It's just kind of a really cool thing that people have been generating with AI. We wanted to run through some videos of them that have came out of college football stadiums. Obviously, we know that these will never be real life. But what I was talking to Reese with is we should get somehow, and I know the NCAA will never do this because they are so licensed heavy and have to have things exactly how they are. But if they could put these in the video game, it would be absolutely perfect if these were video game stadiums. So we're just going to run through a few of what these are going to look like. So as you can see, Bama here. Bama, the giant elephant, the Tide up there at the top. Notre Dame. Notre Dame's awesome. The moving of the touchdown Jesus to the side like that is awesome.
Yeah, I like the stained glass there too.
Miami's got about 40,000 more seats than it needs, but the hurricane at the top of the stadium is cool.
Yeah.
This one's awesome.
This one's one of my favorites. This looks pretty sick. Now, I can only imagine there's a couple of them here where I'm like, this dude gets tackled out of bounds and his ass is going to be swimming.
Yeah. Texas is cool, obviously, with the giant longhorn and the fire coming out of the top of the stadium. This is badass.
That's another one.
It's like the wall of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and Penn State moves to Mount Everest. This looks close to what's already there. Yeah.
It's like a nice twist to it. This is awesome. Also, LSU looks like a nice rainforest cafe.
There's a couple seats in a couple of these where I'm like, I would not see. Now here's the one where I'm like, you're gonna get tackled on the sidelines, and you are definitely going swimming. Puddles is gonna be out there just beating the shit out of you.
Ohio State one, I'm not that big of a fan of. It's all right.
Where's the U? I don't get it. What's going on here?
It's supposed to be a horseshoe, but
yeah, I know. Those feathers are going to be on fire after the first quarter. Okay.
Maybe they're metal. They're fireproof.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, these are the dogs from the Ghostbusters.
That one's kind of like the USC one. It's a nice twist to a.
Yeah. Not selling those seats up at the top. Yeah, so here, I do not want to sit anywhere near that damn lava.
Well, I want that to happen. I'd love to see Dabo run his dumb ass right through that volcano fire all the way down.
Yeah, I'm a little upset there's no like Yosemite Sam anywhere to be found on this one. This one's pretty sick. This one kind of looks like the Baltimore Ravens one. Yeah,
it's badass for a new Kinnick Stadium. I don't know how we're going to do the wave to the hospital with that going on, but I do like it. The giant tusk for Arkansas, I do like that with the hogs at the top. It's pretty sweet. That's a nice, looks like Frontierland.
Yeah. Yeah, not bad. A little boring.
That one's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, at first I thought that was a roller coaster up top, which would be pretty sick if there was a roller coaster that went around the stadium.
And my Knowles getting all the fire. I do like that. I wish we could get more tomahawks in there or something, but I do like that.
This one's awesome.
Yeah, it's very Game of Thrones-esque also.
Yeah, the frogs are sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet for Baylor. I do like that. Chip and Joanne, I think, would approve of that one.
This one looks pretty similar to the LSU one, right?
Yeah. I like the Paul marks there, though. Oh, we got another Miami.
We got another. I like this one better. Enough. The other one was a little tacky, which is definitely South Beach, but...
Yeah, that one's pretty cool with the Canes logo at the top and everything like that. Well, that was an unintentional click, but LSU decided to put their input on that one, I guess. Plays of the week last week, there were only a few. One, I don't know how Purdue keeps making plays of the week, but this was one of the most innovative plays I've seen. This is shit I try to pull off in video games. I thought the Lions were going to come out with this on Monday, honestly, because this is the type of play the Lions would run in the NFL. I love this play, and I think we're going to see a lot of this.
First and goal. Mockabee has it and then slings it out to Ryan Brown. And Purdue with some trickery here.
The dude tries to throw his shoulder out every time he scores a touchdown. Didn't he do that shit last week?
Yeah, Brown. After he had the miraculous fumble recovery touchdown. But yeah, that play, I mean, that's awesome. I love it. Creativity in Purdue for a team that can't score. So do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, might as well have fun with it.
This next one, it's not really more of a play of the week. It's more of a like, what the fuck? And I don't know how they didn't eject this guy.
Oh, it's Bush. What is that about? He's over there cleaning the kicker. Not only Bush League, but just stupid. I mean, right there in front of him. I don't know why. Surprised it wasn't subject to even ejection. Walk over there and stomp on a kicker's foot.
Yeah, he kicked the extra point and was just standing there, and dude comes just stomps him. Like, what the hell?
What? That's almost as bad. I don't know if you saw the video of that kid, like that middle schooler up in Kalamazoo.
Michigan. Yeah. Yeah, that one was bad too. I think that one might be a little worse than this one. But.
Yeah, I agree.
And the other one, Ole Miss was beating the Christ out of Tulane so bad. This is what was going on the sidelines.
I kind of did.
You did?
Just because.
Look at Lane Kiffin throwing the pass for Deuce.
Whoa! How about the hops for Deuce, too? Hey, Lane Kiffin told us he likes to have fun, man. Yeah. Why not?
Other angle of that one real quick. Man,
I love it.
That's when you know you're getting your ass beat when that's going on. Ugh.
Yeah, and what a fun coach. He's like, get the hell out of the way. I want the assist.
He saw what was going on. He was like, hold on, I got to be a part of this. And speaking of that, tonight the Lane Kiffin documentaries on ESPN, which I'm very excited for. I think it's going to be awesome. He's supposed to be telling the stories of kind of what happened at every location he's been at, and I'm pretty interested in that. I like Lane Kiffin a lot, so I think it's going to be a fun. If since Gundy is gone now, I think he's probably our number one entertaining press conference at this point in college football.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. It's time to pick week 5. And like we mentioned, it's kind of separation Saturday here. This is what it's going to be. These are huge games. I like I said, I don't know if there's been a bigger weekend in college football ever. Like it's that big. And we're kicking it off, my team, in a situation that I talk about all the time, a night game during the week, on the road, conference game. Those are my absolute least favorite situations. Number 8, Florida State. We did drop a spot, We only won the game by like 70. We dropped a spot. Makes sense. Number 8, Florida State is a 6.5 point favorite going on the road to Virginia at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia. Bring the Tiki Torches. 59.5 over under Friday at 7 on ESPN.
Oh man, you're on fire already. 2025 turnaround continues for the Noles. Another big win last week. First road test against a Cavs team that's been finding the end zone this season. They're averaging 50 plus at the Scott. Strong offensive line, 6-year senior Chandler Morris. Big Tommy C escapes his injury scare, which I'm happy about. We don't want to see that for the Noles. He looks like he's 100%. We obviously don't want to see your Noles get caught in a look ahead here next week's showdown against the Hurricanes, but I think they're going to get it done. So I'm going to go chop here minus the points.
Yeah, I've had some good news. Castellanos was good. There was a little bit of a scare, which I always say in those games when you're winning by 50, it really sucks. But before halftime, a little bit of an ankle situation, but he's good, which is good to hear. We also have Squirrel White coming back. Pittman's coming back at tight end. Looking fairly healthy for this game. Virginia's offense is pretty good. Morris, I don't know how he's still in college football. I feel like he's been there since the beginning of time. Him and Diego Pavia, I think, are the longest tenured college football quarterbacks in history. But yeah.
Our boy at Utah would like to have a word with that, but okay.
He doesn't play anymore. He just exists, I think. Wayne's World out there.
Yeah.
I do like Florida State, though. A touchdown covers. It is a tough road spot. Virginia's even wearing their throwbacks to the 95 when they upset us in their home fields, like their biggest win in their school history. I don't think it's going to be the same this year, though. So I will take the Noles minus the 6.5. A couple hours later, another big one. Number 24 TCU is going on the road to Arizona State. Arizona State's a 2.5 point favorite at Mountain America Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. 54.5 over under Friday at 9 on Fox.
Yeah, solid QB battle here with TCU's Josh Hoover and State's Sam Levitt. Sun Devils continue to lean on that run game this year on the back of Raleek Brown. They've won 8 straight at home going back to last season. These teams haven't played since 1975, so it should be a fun one here. I think this is going to be a tight game, but I'm going to take Dilly and the Devils here and lay the points.
Yeah, I like Arizona State at home in this one. But yeah, Hoover, one more big performance, and he might be the Heisman favorite, to be honest. He's had a hell of a year. TCU is on we say it every week in the Big 12, there's very little separation in these games. Obviously, TCU's the ranked team. Arizona State's the home team. They're the favorite. So it is what it is. But fun Friday night with two very entertaining games. But yeah, I'm on Arizona State. Number 16, Georgia Tech is a 13.5 point favorite at Wake Forest. I can't even see this. Legacy Federal Credit Union Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. What a
Well done.
name. Jesus. 50.5 over under Saturday at noon on Fox.
Yeah, Demon Deacons coming off a bye to prep for this one. Tech rolls into Winston-Salem undefeated, coming off a home win against Temple. Spread's got me a little on edge here, but I don't think Wake's going to be able to slow down the Yellow Jackets' rushing attack, so I'm still going to go Georgia Tech here, minus the points.
Yeah, Haynes King has been just absolutely on fire. I mean, his running ability, everything he can do. I like Georgia Tech a lot. Obviously, I had him in the ACC championship in the preseason. I had him making the playoffs, and they seem well on their way. I do like them to cover the 13.5 at Wake. Number 21, USC. I'm sure they're loving a 9 a.m. kickoff for them. 6.5-point favorite going on the road to number 23, Illinois at Memorial Stadium in Champaign, Illinois. 60.5 over under Saturday at noon on Fox.
Yeah, Illinois looks like a hot mess last week against IU. Now they're returning home to play a solid Trojans team that brings a strong running game, a talented quarterback. The early start, to your point, does have me a little bit concerned here, but I'm still going to roll Trojans here minus the points. I just don't like what I saw from Illinois last week.
Yeah, Illinois has been all over the place for me because I thought Duke was going to beat them when they went to Duke, and they ended up beating the hell out of them. It was a close game for a little bit, but then they kind of ran away, and I was like, okay, maybe this team's a little better than I think. But then they go to IU, and Lord, IU just beat the shit out of them. And I think USC's offense and has the same talent, well, more talent, honestly, than IU. So I think we're going to see kind of a repeat there. I like USC to go into Champaign and cover and win. Number 22, Notre Dame is a 4.5-point favorite going on the road to Arkansas at Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas. 64.5 over under Saturday at noon on ABC.
Yeah, this is honestly another scary matchup here, in my opinion, for the Irish. I know the Razorbacks are 2-2, but both losses have been within a touchdown. This team can light up the scoreboard. That could be an issue for an Irish team that's given up over 32 a game average on defense. Taylon Greens looks solid for Arkansas, but the Razorbacks, in order for them to win, they're going to have to improve the rush defense. First time these two teams have met, so this is a prove it spot for the Irish. I hate to say it, but I'm going to take Arkansas on the points here. I don't know if they're going to get the win, but I'm going to take Arkansas on the points.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. A noon environment. Notre Dame on the road. They haven't really looked that fantastic. Arkansas's been all over the place, really. Petrino and Green is a good combination, but I think at some point Notre Dame has to become the Notre Dame we expect. I realistically, to me, this should be like a 14-point game at minimum. So I'm kind of surprised that the line is this low, but I'm going to take Notre Dame minus the 4.5. I am interested, though, to see what happens in this, because this is kind of one of those literally anything could happen games, because I don't think we know enough about both teams yet. Utah State is going on the road to number 18, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's a 22.5-point favorite at First Bank Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. 59.5 over under Saturday at 12:45 on the SEC network.
Yeah, Pavia continues his dominance. He's leading the SEC right now in completion percentage. They just laid 70 on Georgia State, but now they're going up against a solid Utah State team led by dual threat quarterback Bryson Barnes. UTAGs are also 2-0 against the spread this season. I think Vandy's going to win this, but the spread's just a little too salty for me, so I'm going to take the 22.5 in UTAGs.
Yeah, I just think, that's like a 10:45 kick for them. Vandy at home. I don't know. I like Vandy in this one, honestly. I think this might be a runaway game. 22.5 doesn't seem like enough for me. And to your point with Pavia, I don't understand why we're not getting more Heisman love for him. He should be the Heisman every year. Huge game here. Number 1, Ohio State, 8.5-point favorite going on the road to Washington. Some sailgating at Husky Stadium in Seattle. 52.5 over under Saturday at 3:30 on CBS.
Yeah, line's been trending down a little bit in this one, but it makes sense because this Husky team has been pretty deadly so far this year, especially on the offensive side of the ball, averaging over 50 a game. Damon Williams has looked strong. Rushing attack has been effective on the back of Jonah Coleman, who's leading the Big Ten in rushing scores, albeit he racked 5 of those up against UC Davis. Not a shoe-in win for the Buckeyes by any means. I do think their defense is at another level than what Washington has faced so far this season, so I am going to go Ohio State here to win and cover on the road. But they can't come in here sleeping thinking they're just going to be able to cakewalk this game, because this Washington team can score and score quick.
Yeah, and the Apple Cup was kind of interesting last week because Washington ended up scoring what felt like 50 points in the fourth quarter. I feel like they turned it on late. But yeah, I'm on Ohio State in this one also. I just don't think 8.5 is enough. I do think we'll get some questions answered here, though, on them, because, again, outside of Texas, which obviously we have more questions with them now than we ever have, they really haven't played much either. So we're finally getting to see these good teams with real tests. But, yeah, I do like Ohio State to cover the 8.5. Number 4, LSU will be facing number 13, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a 1.5-point favorite at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi. 54.5 over under Saturday at 3:30 on ABC.
Magnolia Bowl's gone to the home team the last 5, I think. Trinidad Chambliss has looked good in his last 2 starts. He brings a different dynamic to the Rebels offense that they weren't seeing with Austin Simmons. This is his first real test, though, against the Tigers defense that's allowing less than 10 per game. This is going to be a hell of a game. It was a hell of a game last year. I'm going to roll with my boys here. I'm going to go Kiffin and the Rebels here minus the points.
Unfortunately, I'm with Brian Kelly in this one. I'm going to take LSU to win this one outright. I just feel like Ole Miss is ready for that game that they shit to bed every year. I feel like this is time. LSU went out and spent a very large amount of money in the portal, and it's been showing. They're a very good team. Nussmeier's as experienced as it gets. He's not going to be flustered at Oxford. So I wish this was a night game, though. I'm a little upset. This would be a great 7:30, 8 o'clock night. 3:30. It's a much different atmosphere, but I like LSU to go into Oxford and win this one. Auburn is going on the road to number 9, Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a 6.5-point favorite at Kyle Field in College Station. 52.5 over under Saturday at 3:30 on ESPN.
Tough stretch for Auburn and Norman last week. That's going to be a tough stretch of games here too. I'm a little confused as to why they're not ranked anymore, but Notre Dame is. That's a different conversation. Jackson Arnold took 10 sacks last week. That's not going to cut it, especially against this Aggies team that's been playing well behind Marcel Reed, who's quietly in the Heisman conversation. Home team has won and covered the last 4, so let's follow the trend here. I'm going to take Yell Eaters minus the points.
Yeah, Auburn, though they've had some surprising games, they're still not as good to me as some people think they are, and it's another back-to-back road spot going to A&M and a hell of a place to play. I think A&M kind of comes out and lights them up here. I like A&M a lot in this one. Number 11, IU is a 7.5-point favorite going to Iowa at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City. 47.5 over under Saturday at 3:30 on Peacock.
Massive win for the Hoosiers last week. Mendoza rockets into the top of the Heisman conversation. They've got a ridiculous rushing attack. I think 4 different dudes have at least 200 yards rushing on this team right now. Hawkeyes are a tough W at Kinnick, and IU can't get caught looking ahead to their upcoming game in Autzen, but they have the bye in between, so I think they're going to get it done here, so I'll light the SIG.
Yeah, this one was a tough one for me because Iowa is a very tough place to go in and play. They just haven't – that offense, I thought we were going to get a better passing attack this year. They have put up more points than they normally do. Again, this is kind of one of the – I get that there's 2 huge games at night, and that's why a lot of these are being put earlier in the day. But this to me should be a night game at Kinnick. I feel like this would be a big deal if it was a night game. But I'm going to go with IU to keep the streak going. Iowa's offense hasn't proven to me enough that they can score enough points to keep up with IU. Now, if Iowa's defense shows up like I think they can and keeps IU to 28 or under, they might have a legit chance to win and definitely cover. But I'm going to take IU in this one just because I like Mendoza and Signetti and what they've been doing so far this year. Number 15, Tennessee is a 7.5-point favorite going on the road to Mississippi State at Davis-Wade Stadium in Stark Vegas, Mississippi. 63.5 over under Saturday at 4:15 on the SEC Network.
Vols took some frustration out on UAB last week after a tough home loss against Georgia the week prior. Joey Aguilar's come in leading the SEC in touchdown passes. He's looked great under center for Rocky Top so far. He'll have a tough road test against a 4-0 Bulldogs team. It's looked solid so far this season under Levy. Mississippi State's also they've got one of my favorite names in college football at running back at Fluff Bothwell. That's just a hell of a name.
Yeah, he's a transfer.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think Fluff is going to be enough for them to get it done here, though. I'm going to take Rocky Top minus the points to get a big road win in the land of the cowbell.
Yeah, I'm on Tennessee to cover also. It still pisses me off that Arizona State blew that game at Mississippi State. They had that game won and blew it in the end, and I think that's why they're getting a little bit of a boost here. But I do like Tennessee to be able to go in and cover. Arizona is going on the road to number 14, Iowa State. Iowa State's a 6.5-point favorite at Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, Iowa. 48.5 over under Saturday at 7 on ESPN.
And both teams coming off bye weeks to prep for this one. Zona's looked solid in a bit of a get-right campaign that Noah Fafita's been on, but the Cats have struggled a bit against the spread as a road dog under Brennan. This is also a nighttime showdown at one of the tougher venues in the country in Jack Trice. I think this is going to be a good game, but I am going to take Iowa State here minus the points.
Yeah, I'm on Iowa State also. Again, the Big 12, so many good teams, and this is one of them. I like Iowa State to cover this and continue their run. I think Iowa State's going to end up in the Big 12 championship game this year. I like them a lot. Two monstrous games going back to back here. Number 6, Oregon, going on the road to number 3, Penn State. Penn State is a 3.5-point favorite for the whiteout at Beaver Stadium and University Park. 51.5 over under Saturday at 7:30 on NBC.
NBC rematch of last year's Big Ten championship, actual night game at the Beeve. We don't get those enough. It's also a whiteout game, so that's going to be electric. This is Penn State's first real test. They've had 3 cupcake home wins against Nevada, the Airport, and Villanova. Super tough matchup for both of these teams. I think this is going to be a close one. I've gone back and forth on this, but I'm going to take Puddles in the points. I don't know if Oregon's going to come in and win, but I'm going to take the points.
To the other side of that, Oregon hasn't played shit either. I think these are 2 teams that are highly ranked that have both kind of look like shit based off who they've played. We're going to get a lot of things answered here. I don't know if teams are holding, I don't know if they're holding things back for this game, and that's why they've kind of looked like shit. But I mean, neither of these teams have done anything yet that should be like, oh yeah, they're great. For the fact that it's a road game, Oregon at Penn State, whiteout, night game, over 100,000.
Yeah. All those reasons make sense.
I'm going Penn State. Yeah, I'm taking them minus the 3.5. Number 17, Alabama, going on the road to number 5, Georgia. Georgia's a 2.5-point favorite at Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia. 53.5 over under Saturday at 7:30 on ABC.
Georgia's not beat Bama in a regular season matchup since 2007 in Bama. Bama's won 9 of the last 10, I believe. Solid quarterback matchup here between Simpson and Stockton. Georgia has a 33-game home winning streak going at Sanford, so they've got another one of those crazy winning streaks going. Big timing here, though, is that Bama's getting Miller back at running back, and they're getting Keenan back at defensive line for the first time this year, which is a massive upgrade to their pass rush and to their running game. We're breaking the streak here. I'm going Bama in the points. I think Bama's going to win this one.
Yep, I'm on Bama straight up in this one also. I think Jam coming back is huge. Healthy team. Bama typically plays Georgia well, like you said. And yeah, I think the streak's over also. I think Bama wins this one straight up. UMass is going on the road. Number 20, Missouri. Missouri is a 44.5-point favorite at Memorial Stadium in Columbia, Missouri. 56.5 over under Saturday at 7:30 on ESPNU. I'm sure with all of the games going on at 7:30, everyone's going to be tuned into this one.
Yeah, 100%. I'm going to keep this one simple. Just remove the U and the M. Tigers are going to win and cover here.
Yes, agree. The Mormons, number 25, BYU, 6.5-point favorite going on the road to the land of shittiness, Colorado. Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado, 47.5 over under Saturday at 10:15 on ESPN. Mormons. This one might go after midnight. We might have an issue here.
Yeah, a little bit late. Soaker's wild, though. Buff's test with Staub was pretty short-lived. We didn't talk about Colorado last week, but we saw Salter back in their game against Wyoming. Mormons smacked Colorado in the bowl game last year. I don't think it's going to be that big of a win this time around, but I also don't trust this Colorado team. So I'm going to roll with the Cougs here minus the points on the road in a late night matchup.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who Colorado puts at quarterback and what celebrity they have on the sidelines. I will take the Secret Life of Mormon Wives every time over anything Colorado's put out. And I'm on BYU minus the 6.5. Go Mormons. So that wraps up top 25. It's now time for the Muncie six-pack. Rutgers is going on the road to Minnesota. Minnesota's a 4.5-point favorite at Huntington Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. 51.5 over under Saturday at noon on the Big Ten Network.
Yeah, first road game for the Scarlet Knights. Kalika Mountis heads back to the bank in a different uni after Rutgers got a bit of an upset last year against the Golden Gophers 26-19. I think Minnesota's going to struggle to slow down this passing game for the Rutgers, though. I'm going to take the Scarlet Knights here in the points.
Yeah, I really like what Rutgers has been doing. I like them outright to win this game straight up. Cincinnati going on the road to Kansas. Kansas 5.5-point favorite at David Booth, Kansas Memorial Stadium, Lawrence, Kansas. 55.5 over under Saturday at noon on TNT.
Cincy has taken care of business since dropping their home opener against Nebraska, but this Kansas team is by far the best team that they played so far. Jayhawks looked great against West Virginia last week, despite a 50% completion percentage for Jalen Daniels. I'm going to go Rock Chalk Jayhawk here.
Kansas has been impressive, and especially on their home field. I'm going to keep rolling with Kansas here, minus the 5.5. Louisville's a 4.5-point favorite going on the road to Pitt at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 57.5 over under Saturday at noon on the Deuce.
Yeah, Louisville's been balanced, a little inconsistent, albeit still undefeated this year. Defenses look solid. They're only giving up about 16 a game. On the flip side, Pitt looked tough, especially on offense in the first 2 games of the year. They obviously hit a skid when they played West Virginia. They went 4 for 17 on third downs and had 14 penalties. Hopefully they use the bye to clean things up a bit there. Either way, I still think I'm going to go Cardinals here to win and cover. I just don't like what we saw out of Pitt.
Yeah, I actually like Pitt straight up in this one. I think Pitt's going to win this game. Typically, Narduzzi plays Louisville very well. And they're at home this year. I just like Pitt to win this one outright in a sleepy noon game. Bowling Green's going on the road to Ohio. Ohio's a 9.5-point favorite at Peden Stadium in Athens, Ohio. 51.5 over under Saturday at noon on the CBS Sports Network.
Speaking of Louisville, Bowling Green did not look great against Louisville last week, especially on the defensive side of the ball. 2 scores on the offensive side came in the fourth during garbage time. On the flip side, I think Ohio's looked good. They're definitely looking better than their 2-2 record. Look for Bangura and Brune to tear through Bowling Green's defense. I am taking Ohio here minus the points.
Yeah, I like Ohio a lot too. I think they're way better than their record shows. I will take them minus the 9.5. UCF is going on the road to Kansas State. Kansas State's 6.5-point favorite at Bill Snyder Family Stadium in the Little Apple. 49.5 over under Saturday at noon on CBS.
Yeah, Kansas State sucks, man. This offense is not leveraging Avery Johnson for his right skill sets. He's not a great passer. UCF is also coming into this game, I think, with a little extra motivation after they lost Coach Clark to his sudden death on Sunday. I'm not even taking the points here. I'm going UCF money line.
Same. I agree with you completely. I think it's that Ireland curse. Kansas State's been terrible.
Yeah, they do not look good.
And Scott Frost has UCF looking good. I mean, North Carolina is not that great, but I mean, they beat the absolute hell out of North Carolina last week, and I think they look really good. And I know it's a road spot, but I'm not too worried about it with the way Kansas State's been looking. Cal is going on the road to Boston College. Boston College is 6.5-point favorite at Alumni Stadium in Chestnut Hill. 52.5 over under Saturday at 3:30 on the ACC network.
Both of these squads coming off some shitty losses between Cal and a goose egg to SDSU of Boston College, the bad loss against the Tree. Boston College is coming off the bye. They'll be at home. Cal's on a long road trip here. I'm going to take the Eagles to win and cover.
Yeah, JKS was not good in that game against San Diego State. It was about as bad as a game as I've seen, which, I mean, got to remember he's still a young quarterback too, but I just think 6.5 is too many. BC might win this game, but I could see it being a 3 or 4 point win. So I'm going to be on Cal here to get the cover. Utah is a 12.5-point favorite going on the road to West Virginia at Milan Pusker Stadium in Morgantown, West Virginia. 47.5 over under Saturday at 3:30 on Fox.
Mountaineers got manhandled by Kansas last week. They'll have an even tougher matchup here against Utah. West Virginia's got a lot of questions on the offensive side of the ball between the quarterback position and offensive line issues. I think Utah's going to eat here on defense. I'm going to go with the Utes to win and cover.
I just wonder if the blowout, what ended up being the blowout, was too much for Utah. Now they're going on the road to West Virginia all the way across the country. I just think it's kind of a sleepy game. I like West Virginia at home here. I don't know if they're going to win the game, but I do think 12.5 is too much. So I'll take West Virginia to cover. All right, so that is going to wrap up the Muncie six-pack. It is now time to do our lock of the week.
Lock me in on the SIG versus Iowa, minus 7.5.
All right, Reese is on IU. I'm on Iowa State, minus 6.5 with Fafita coming to town. I just think that Matt Campbell will have this team ready. Home game, big situation. Iowa State keeps rolling. The dog of the week.
I'm going Bama here, plus 126 versus Georgia. Let's go. Roll Tide.
Taking the dog against the dogs. My underdog of the week is Pitt. We talked about it just a few minutes ago. They're consistently good at home against Louisville. A lot of success for Narduzzi. I think Pitt can get this in a sleepy game. I think Pitt wins it outright. That is going to be the end of our, what we will call Separation Saturday picks, week 5. huge weekend on deck. Really excited. Starting Friday night with my Knowles. I'm glad we get them out of the way Friday. So Saturday, hopefully we have a just peaceful watching of great games. While we anticipate 1 week later, Florida State, Miami. Early line indicates Miami is going to be a 4.5-point favorite at Doak, which is an absolute joke. Lee Corso, I believe I talked about this at the beginning of the year, that I said they should have him plant the spear for this game. He is going to be honored at the game. They came out and said it. I don't know if he's planting the spear. I hope he does, but I doubt it. But usually only the Florida game is when we get the removal of Renegade and planting the spear as the Seminole tribe. That's how they signify the beginning of war. And usually we only do that for the Florida game. But maybe with Miami being the home game this year, not Florida, maybe we'll have a chance. We'll see. I can hope. I don't even know if he can get it in the ground, to be honest, but we'll see. Anything else for this huge weekend, Reese?
No, I mean, if Corso just holds the spear, maybe Osceola can just pick him up and throw him down.
Corso?
Yeah. Yeah. Just spike
we don't
Corso
need to kill Lee Corso right before the game starts. I don't want to kill him. I'm just trying to help get some momentum there for that spear. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, but he'll do that, and then the fire will hit Corso's face and burn him up. And
man, yeah, you went dark real quick with that.
We'll have a whole disaster. I don't know, that might motivate the team. Tragic magic. You never know.
Tragic magic, baby.
But I can't wait. Next week, first we got to win this week. Let's get through this week, Friday night at Virginia first. But we get through that next week, we're going to be having quite the discussion because they'll probably, if I had to guess, be 2 top 5 teams in that game. So, but anything else?
That's it, man. Let's have another week of college football.
All right. Everyone enjoy the incredible games this weekend. And if you are watching live and care about NFL, we'll be right back with NFL. If not watching live, download the NFL Pick podcast or watch it on YouTube. For Reese Downing, Jacob Bergman, we will see you guys next week.